On the eve of a convicted sex predator who uses lawyers and men to gather around women after he rapes them and has them sign hush money contracts and are paid money with those contracts, with him as the incumbent president, Donald Trump, in the United States of America, he's also the man who incited a riot that went to Capitol Hill 4 years ago, basically, and people died and also defecated on the desks of Congress. Congressman Pat Fallon just degraded the director of the Secret Service of the United States of America in the name of Donald Trump, who is the one who incited a riot to drop their human feces from their human anus onto congressional desks. To my knowledge, I wasn't there. And the man who said he plans to pardon the so-called insurrectionists or hopped up idiots on too much medication, whatever you want to call that riot mob, Donald Trump sent them there. Now a congressman, a man from that building, is degrading the fine service of the Secret Service director in the name of a rapist and riot inciter, where Capitol Hill police officers died, 3 officers in total as a result, from the events of January 6th, those 4 years ago, basically. Today is December 6th, 2024. And for you to know, the United States of America voted as a majority for that man instead of a woman. And now he's trying to put in all these rude comments like he does to generals of the armed services, the people who learn how to fire weapons and operate weapons of mass destruction, and they're the ones who are in charge of the $100 billion contracts that pay for all our invisible flying airplanes and underground submarines that are invisible to machines, and bombs that can kill people, and all the other perks and bells and whistles and giant things that a general in the military does. Yet Donald Trump treats them like morons, including talking shit about a former congressman who was a POW during the Vietnam War, Senator John McCain. Let's not forget Donald Trump's first year in office, when Veterans Day came around, he did not lay the wreath in Arlington Cemetery for the fallen soldiers. And that was the same year that he insulted Senator McCain, saying he was a sucker or a loser or some other shitbag thing about the senator who was held in a camp in Vietnam. You know those weird stories like where they put bamboo up your fingernails, or you lived in a pit full of water that sometimes rats would go in? The kind of shit that fake movie Rambo, when John J. Rambo went in and saved them from the evil people. But John McCain lived in a prison camp for years, and Donald Trump insulted him. Let's not forget Donald Trump also in the 1980s was very, very off-center and very, very biased when I believe 5 men were released from years and years in prison for something they did not do. Donald Trump, being the young, rich man that he was, or bitch-ass rich cock, he took out a full-page ad in the New York Times that cost about $85,000, so I read. In the times of the mid-1980s, that would have been about 4 years, 3 to 4 years' salary of the average person in the United States who had a family and took care of their family. They would have made that much money in 3 to 4 years before taxes. After taxes, they would have had less. But he took out a full-page ad saying, put those 5 criminals back in prison with their pictures. And that's because Donald Trump's a racist white guy who was born with a lot of stuff, including his inherited stuff. You know the stuff people inherit that have stuff like a great-grandmother's dress or a great-grandfather's KKK outfit? Well, that's the kind of shit that Donald Trump has in his possession. And get us what else he does. He rapes women and pays them off with lawyers and men and says shut the fuck up afterwards. So this is out to all the military families. This is all the people that voted for Donald Trump. This is for all the members of Congress who actually have women that you love in your family, like your wife or your daughter or your sister or your mom, or if you're in the military or in the Capitol Police or in Congress, or that congressperson, whatever the fuck your name is, who insulted the Secret Service director, or if you're anyone like the Sergeant of Arms of Congress, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, if you're in the, let's say, the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels. Let's just say maybe you're into big tech corporations and you write software for Peckerwoods who do evil things. Or let's say you design lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of things for technology companies such as microchips or some such things. Let's just say that y'all make sure you keep your P's and Q's together on everything. Because let's not forget the diabolical people who like to buy and sell human beings and use money to make it okay. Oh, I mean, well, shit. If you import your wives and you buy them online, you know them ladies, you buy them online and they're going to be your wife. You know what I'm talking about, right? I think you know. You used to have to buy a book or have like a travel consultant, was that a travel agency, but it would get you your bride from overseas if you're just like an asshole. I mean, I've seen it in movies. It's just true. Mail order brides. It's usually from poor countries. They give the money, some of it to the family. It's called a dowry. They keep some of it for themselves, called finder's fees. You know, you'd hate to think that in those places it's really just like farms, human breeding farms. You know what else you'd hate to think about is if you were young and you donated sperm or eggs because you were really smart. Like, let's say you're in the Northern Virginia, Fairfax County area, this entire Washington, D.C. cosmopolis, the cosmopoly here, the DMV. Like me, for instance, I grew up in Reston, Virginia, where I'm told that women donated their eggs to science for like $10,000 or whatever they were given. They could pay for their college by donating eggs and have some extra money. That's their eggs for babies. Then you have men who masturbate and donate their sperm, spermatozoa. That makes babies too. And when you take a sperm and an egg and you put them together, they then have babies later. But if those people are not there anymore, you can't put it in the mama. And I don't think we're making babies yet in test tubes, so guess what? Well, guess what? When you don't have a mom who donated the egg to also be the recipient of the fertilized egg, you have to have a woman to receive it and raise it. Now, I know what you're thinking. So what? But there's probably mama farms. And if you got mama farms, it means you separate the mom from the baby. And you have a milking farm as well, where the women milk the babies. They're called wet nurses. And so you basically nowadays, you don't even have to go around and rape all the women like as the old United States of America Babylon systems, the cock bull diesel shit. Like, I'll be Moses, you be Aaron, you guys be Jesus, you be the disciples. We'll take over the whole nation, then we'll go place to place with the biggest, toughest guys in the whole place. The big muscle giants can be Aaron, and they can be David, and they can be Moses, and then Abraham, and then the little guys could be the other 12, Jesus, whatever, who cares? You know, what I'm actually getting at is like, anybody who did all that stuff and knew each other back in the day, however many eggs you donated, all those eggs may have now been, I guess, fertilized with the sperm of people you knew as kids who you never hooked up with. Or how about this? What if you did hook up with them, but you never had children back then? And now you've got a child out here that could be 10 years old and look just like you both together. Or maybe that child's 5 years old or 20 years old. Or, you know, because I'm 52 years old. If y'all started donating eggs and jerking off when you were like 16, so you could have done that at age 16. That would put us at a age, that you mean you could have 36-year-old children that you don't even know you have. Well, no, because it takes a year for gestation. So 35-year-old children that you don't even know you have could be walking around. And I've seen people in the area here in the city in Washington, D.C., they look just like people I fucking knew. And I mean, like, is that your brother? Is that your brother or sister? And then I'm like, wait a minute, yo. You're way younger than us. You look like us when we were in our 20s. And I'm going, holy shit. Is that their kid or is that their sperm kid? And then is that their science donation? I mean, you have to look at it like this as well. People were also told that their baby was dead, you know, after the abortion. A lot of people might justify saying that's cruel and evil to murder the baby. But it's also cruel and evil to leave it with some teenagers that don't really need to have a baby or want it if they're willing to give it up to be killed. And so they smile. They say, here's your dead baby. And it's just a sample dead baby that they use for all the abortions that week. It's the sample dead baby. And then guess what? All those other babies get raised up. So you could have had an abortion supposedly, but have kids rolling around the city or this country or the world right now, depending on who the philanthropists were who facilitated the experiments, what X-Men Foundation handled the Dr. Evil children of the world who are mystically and magically little Annies who don't know their parents, their daddy Warbucks and their Oprah Winfrey mothers that no one ever really knows because they're such mysterious globe-trotters. They keep it jaja, fakor, hukaga, and they practice different accents. So when they travel the world, people will think they're from different countries because they study accents just like people study languages. But what I was really saying was this. How dare anyone defend the name of Congress in the name of Donald Trump? And how dare anyone have voted for a convicted rapist over a woman? Fuck it.